part of me has some trepidation about even asking you this, but it seems to me that if the recognition in what you're calling the real world of paramedics and EMTs is as widespread as you say it is, and as it seems to me it would have to be, that there's some question as to whether or not you could all stand up together. I mean, civilization knows it can't afford to fire all of its paramedics and EMTs. So if you all stood up together and you said, you know, we've been coerced into not sharing this information, but the public needs to know, what would happen?
You would have change if that actually would occur. It's not going to occur. That's super wishful thinking. It's not going to happen. Like I would love for that to happen. I also love to win the lottery. It's not going to happen. I've been trying to get people to just speak for a very long time, and most won't. They'll let me tell their story, but won't let me put them on camera. They're like, even where I currently work now, the big wigs of where I work now know my social media, comb my social media, have told me they comb my social media, called me into the office and said, if you say that you work for blah, 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 we'll fire you. And everyone I know knows they're combing through my social media. So it's being, they're not firing me, but they're still intimidating or trying to intimidate me. And through that intimidation, everyone else is intimidated as well because they don't want to be in that position. So will everybody stand up one day? I don't believe so. I believe, I don't know if you want to go there or not, but I believe we're more likely to have a civil war before everyone stood up in peace and harmony and had a dance off. Now, do I want that to happen? No, not at all. I'm not promoting that because I'll be the one picking up the bodies, and I don't want that to happen. But as far as what I believe that could possibly occur long before everyone actually has the huevos to stand up. Because it only takes a certain small amount of the portion to finally be like, you killed my mom, my dad, my brother, my uncle. I'm going to fight back. And if they ever mandate us again or like complete and take away jobs, there's a good chance there's going to be a very small portion that actually fights back. Because that's America. America doesn't like tyranny. We've proven that with tea and harbors and stuff like that. So you can only push us so far. Well, they pushed us to the brink, and they just did it with the medical professionals this time. I was, at the time, I was wishing they did it across the board. I was like, I want everyone to experience what I'm experiencing right now. My government is telling me I can't work if I don't take an experimental substance that I have seen kill people firsthand, and they're charging me taxes. That's tyranny. That's tyranny on a experimental death jab level. So I wanted everybody to experience that, but they were smart. They didn't do that. They did it to the healthcare professionals, and most healthcare people are at heart. They're not all cowards because they're willing to do things other people aren't. But when it comes to rocking the boat, they're not rock the boat type people. They're read the book, learn something, try to help type people. It's just the way. It's just the way.
Yeah, I see it. I do think it is going to happen again. I don't know if it's going to be viruses and shots, but the tyranny is real. The lessons of history have been forgotten. I remind my audience frequently that in 1947, the Nuremberg court hanged 7 doctors for violating informed consent, which we now apparently, on some public health pretext, are now violating on the regular without realizing it's a hanging offense, right? We agreed. The world agreed. You don't do this. The patient has a right to know everything you know, and they have a right to refuse whatever treatments you want to give them. And so my feeling is, what a shame if paramedics and EMTs have been through hell because they've seen what really happened and they've been coerced into being silent about it. I agree they're not going to stand up as individuals because it is frightening, and most people don't have the leeway to lose their job. They don't have a plan B. So I get that people were not, it's not pure cowardice. It's also, I can't afford to starve my family. What am I going to do? But this is why standing up en masse would be the right thing to do. It means you protect yourself so the next time it won't happen. You clear your conscience so that your blood pressure can go back to normal. And they're not going to fire all the EMTs and paramedics because we're all depending on you.
We would need mass faith. And faith has been driven out of this nation just as much as bravery. Faith is huge, and a lot of people, especially in the EMS community, aren't faith based. They're just not. Most of my friends in the EMS community, I love them to death, but they're not faith based people.
Yeah,
they're just not. And that's what it requires to do what you're doing right now, brother. That's what it requires for me to do what I wouldn't be able to do any of this at all with any kind of backbone at all, because I'm not that kind of strong individual. Like, I truly believe in God, and God is my backbone. I truly believe God will take care of me whenever they take my job away again, because God will take care of me when they take my job away again. Most people don't have that kind of faith, and without it, we're in trouble.
Well, let me say this. First of all, I don't consider myself a person of faith. I am very friendly. Most of my friends are people of faith. I have a well-known relationship with this topic to them. I think faith is probably an extremely important thing to have, and it's difficult to live your life without it. So anyway, we can put that aside for the second. Let me just say, though, I have said in many different contexts that it is striking to me that in the medical freedom movement, the frequency with which doctors and other professionals who stood up and weathered the storm, the people who showed the greatest courage, were highly likely to be people of faith. And I don't take that to be incidental, that basically you were easily manipulated if you didn't believe in something more important. If you believed in a higher power, then there was only so coercible you could be, because the point is, well, they can torture you down here in the earthly realm, but it's not all there is. So anyway, I have seen a huge amount of courage from people who get it exactly where you have gotten it. And I do regard I regard you as courageous, even if you have some explanation for why you're not. You obviously are. And where it comes from, it's your business. You choose to share it. That's cool. But you're courageous. And I think that all of those folks you're talking about who don't have courage, and you and I both think their lack of faith probably has something to do with it, they should think about this. And they should say, well, what would it take for me to be courageous like Harry? Because maybe my nation is depending on us breaking this spell, and the courage has to come from somewhere.